Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today. We know how busy you are and appreciate you choosing to spend time with us. We will do our very best to make the next hour as productive for you as possible. My name is David Ronald and I'm the Director of Marketing at Foxit Software. We are joined by Phil Lee, Senior Vice President of Sales. Welcome, Phil.
Thank you, David. Good to be here.
And we have a special guest with us today, Dave Murray, Executive Vice President at the BPI Network. Welcome, Dave.
Thank you, David.
Most of you are probably already familiar with Foxit Software, but some of you may be less familiar with the BPI Network. There's a short description here on the slide. BPI Network is a thought leadership and professional networking organization, and one of its core competencies is marketing research, which informs the analysis that Dave will present in a few moments. And Foxit, as you know, is a leading provider of fast, affordable, and secure PDF solutions. Here's the agenda for our webinar. Dave will get things started by reviewing the results of a study done by the BPI Network that explored enterprise security concerns. Then I will look at the role of smart PDFs in reducing the risk of confidential data being lost in enterprise security breaches. And then Phil will explain why there's never been a more important time to upgrade to Phantom PDF, which is Foxit's multi-feature PDF editor. And we'll be sure to leave plenty of time at the end to answer your questions. Before we begin, here are 3 housekeeping issues. Although everyone's phone lines are muted, we do want to hear from you. Please submit your questions by typing them into the box provided. We'll do our best to answer them all. We'll take some questions, probably take some questions during the webinar, but do the majority at the end. Also, this webinar is being recorded and will be added to the archive on our website at the URL shown here. We have a variety of webinars in our archive, and I encourage you to check them out. Last but not least, I invite you to subscribe to our blog. We write on a wide range of PDF-related topics, and by subscribing, you will receive a weekly update, which we call Tuesday's Topic. Don't miss it. And with that, let me pass control of today's webinar to Dave Murray, Executive Vice President at the BPI Network.
Okay. Can you see my... Okay, here we go. All right. Welcome, everybody. The BPI Network, in partnership with Foxit Software, conducted this study in late 2016 and early this year, and we looked at the issues and challenges related to security around confidential documents. The study is called Getting Control of Document Flow, and I encourage all of you to download a copy of the report off of our bpinetwork.org website. So please do that. So the study is really based on a survey of over 200 knowledge workers and managers at companies worldwide, both large and small. And we looked at the level of security risk in these organizations versus the protection that they had related to confidential documents. And what we found, I think, is somewhat startling. The study absolutely demonstrates a widespread need to improve document security in today's connected world and within most companies that we surveyed. Improper exposure of confidential and sensitive documents is very common, and I'll take you through some of that data. And in fact, the potential for very significant damage to businesses, government agencies, healthcare organizations is really quite great. So just in terms of level of concern, we see a real risk that is actually growing. 95% of respondents express concerns about the security of documents in their organization. So virtually everyone we surveyed said it's a concern. And 90% said that they believe the risk is growing due to digitization and connectivity, which is making confidential documents more vulnerable to exposure. In fact, 90% said the risk is growing due to internet connectivity and the proliferation of mobile devices within their enterprises. And I think it's important to note that confidential documents are not an issue that exists in only a few departments within an organization. They are, in fact, everywhere within the enterprise. We asked our participants what types of documents were most of concern to them. And as you can see, it's really across the enterprise. Financial data was the #1 concern, followed by employee records. But then in the legal department, legal documents are a large concern. Business contracts and agreements, trade secrets and intellectual property, business marketing sales plans were the top 6 concerns expressed by our participants. And again, these exist throughout the organization. And they are being created on a very regular basis. 75% of those we surveyed said their organization creates confidential documents at least weekly, and a very large percentage said that they are creating them on a daily basis. And the fact is that security is weak at most companies today. Less than 1/3 of our respondents report that they have effective document security tools that are widely used within the company. And 44% report that there aren't widely understood document security policies within their organizations. So, you know, companies are not doing enough to educate employees about how to secure documents. So no wonder only 16% of our respondents rated their company as very effective in securing documents, and that compares to 18% who said they're not effective at all, and another 33% who said that they're only somewhat effective in protecting confidential documents. So that is clearly a problem that is not well addressed in most organizations today. One finding that I think is very interesting and very concerning is that, you know, we talk a lot about cyber threats and hackers and break-ins, but the #1 concern of all of our participants was accidental release of information and documents. It was the #1 vulnerability and a top concern for 61% of those who took the survey, versus cyber theft, which was the second leading concern with 41%. And then intentional employee leaks, 34%, and partners sharing documents without permission was a top concern among 33% of our participants. We asked them for their top 3 concerns. And this isn't just a risk in theory. The reality is that 6 in 10 of the participants of our survey told us that they or someone they know have mistakenly sent out a document that it shouldn't have gone out. So sensitive information just accidentally being released to wrong parties. And I find that to be somewhat startling, that the level of accidental exposure of documents is as high as it is. And the consequences are really very significant. You know, there have been a lot of studies on the cost of security breaches. We didn't ask for a dollar amount, but we wanted to know what they saw as the leading repercussions for the release of sensitive documents to parties that should not be receiving them. Number one was reputational compromise, followed by lawsuits by employees, by partners, etc. And then competitive risks, the exposure of information that creates a competitive risk for the business, lost time seeking to fix the problem, job loss and reprimands. So when it happens, employees can get into a great deal of trouble. And then finally, loss of revenue are some of the consequences that we see for exposure. And then just finally, we looked at the appetite among our participants for new solutions that could improve security around confidential documents. And the appetite is quite high. And I think particularly that's true if those solutions are easy to use and fit into existing workflows. We specifically asked about the benefits of using a tool that could remotely track, recall, and control digital documents after they've been sent, after they've been distributed. And 89% of respondents found that that would have a real benefit. And I think when you think about how often documents are being sent accidentally to the wrong party, that kind of those kinds of features, knowing who's seen the document, recalling it after it's been sent, is clearly a way to improve security around accidental release of that kind of information, as well as intentional. So that's just a little bit of the findings. I again urge you to go to the website bpinetwork.org and download a copy of the report. And with that, I'm going to turn this back over to David. I'm trying to let's see here.
Hey Dave, before you, or well, as you're doing that, we've had a couple of questions from the audience. One of the questions we received was, what types of professionals participated in your survey? I don't think you covered that at any stage.
Yes.
What type of professionals?
Really, it was across industries. So we didn't take a specific look at any one industry. We looked at this problem across numerous enterprises, and the level of participants ranged from, I'd say, a high number of our participants were executive level, owner, CEO, VP, and above. But also there were, there were a lot of folks in legal that were part of the survey. So it really was across the board.
Okay, great. What type of industries did you cover? Did you span across?
Well, we covered government, healthcare, construction, financial services, legal, and a wide range of other industries as well. So there was no predominant one industry that we looked at.
Okay, that's interesting. This is a question for me. Were there any significant variations in the results from one industry to another?
Yeah, so, what I would say is that we decided to make this a general study. And while we know the number of participants in each industry, we didn't feel like there was enough of a presence for each industry to make those kinds of comparisons. So what we really are looking at are the general problems that all companies are facing in the area of document security.
Interesting. I think you said at the beginning there were 200 people involved.
That's right. It was over 200.
Over 200.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. That was interesting. Thanks. Thanks very much. Okay. I'll take over. You can find the report that Dave described on the Foxit website at the URL shown at the bottom of the slide here, and you can download it for free. And I encourage you to do so. It's very well researched and very well written. And you'll also find other white papers on a range of topics at the same place on our website, and I recommend that you check them out also when you have time. Now, I will look at the role of smart PDFs in reducing the risk of confidential data being lost in enterprise security breaches. Imagine a PDF that could let you know its location anywhere in the world. Imagine if this PDF could let you know it had been read by, if it had been read by the recipient or changed or shared or printed. Imagine if the ability to view this PDF could be revoked remotely, or alternatively, if users could be remotely granted the ability to edit, print, share the PDF, and so on. And imagine if this PDF could be updated and a new version distributed automatically. This isn't fiction, and these are not capabilities that will be available sometime in the future. This functionality has been available for over 6 months. Phantom PDF, Foxit's multi-feature PDF editor, already provides the functionality imagined on the prior slide. We call this functionality Connected PDF. Connected PDF is an innovative technology that is revolutionizing document management and security. Connected PDF introduces new levels of accountability, collaboration, and productivity to the creation, sharing, and tracking of confidential information. And in case you're wondering, the functionality that Connected PDF provides is anticipated to become an extension to the ISO standard. That's ISO 92000, which was the original standard covering PDF. Here are a few scenarios that demonstrates the benefits of using Connected PDF. Scenario 1, upper left. Beth works in engineering for a company developing a groundbreaking new product and accidentally sends a PDF of the product specifications to a contract manufacturer that the company uses. But that contract manufacturer now also does work for a major competitor. With Connected PDF, Beth is able to expire the document and prevent it falling into the wrong hands. Scenario 2, upper right. Sam needs to publish the latest travel policy at his company, but is worried that if he simply posts the new policy on the company's intranet and sends an email to all employees asking them to review it, some employees will miss his email, continue to refer to the old document, and possibly violate company travel policy. With Connected PDF, there's an echo on the line. Phil and Dave, can you mute yourself?
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks. No. Still there. Are we muted? Okay, thank you. Scenario 2. So Sam needs to publish the latest travel policy at his company, but is worried if he simply posts the new policy on the company's intranet and sends an email to all employees asking them to review it, some employees will miss his email, continue to refer to the old document, and violate company policy. With Connected PDF, Sam knows that when people open the legacy document, they will get a notification telling them that there is a new travel policy available, along with instructions on how to download it. Scenario 3, which is at the lower left. Pete is a general contractor who wants to prepare a quotation for a customer that involves 3 subcontractors. Pete knows how to price out a plumbing job, but isn't up. Dave, I think you're no longer muted.
Pardon me?
I think you're no longer muted.
Okay. Sorry about that. I'll mute again.
Okay, thank you. Still there. Okay. All right, good. So scenario 3, which is at the lower left, we're thinking about Pete is a general contractor who wants to prepare a quotation for a customer that involves 3 subcontractors. And Pete knows how to price out part of the job, plumbing, let's say, but isn't up to date on the prices for the work being done by the 3 subcontractors. With Connected PDF, Pete and his subcontractors can edit the quotation in real time, making review comments until finally they agree on the final document. And scenario 4 at the lower right. Jane is an attorney working on a complex piece of airline safety regulation where she's received input from many reviewers, but sometimes find that she needs to revert back to an older version of her document to locate earlier suggestions from reviewers or reintroduce discarded language. And with Connected PDF, Jane can easily find what she needs and complete her work in the shortest amount of time possible. So how does Connected PDF work? A Connected PDF is an ordinary PDF file with an embedded unique identification code. Ordinary PDFs, Office files, and other documents can be converted into Connected PDFs with one click using a Connected PDF enabled app, such as Phantom PDF or multi-feature editor. Metadata such as version information, change history, location, related files, and people connected to the document are stored in the cloud, and a Connected PDF identifier is assigned to the document. Once a Connected PDF has been created, the author simply forwards it to the intended recipients the same way an ordinary PDF would be sent. Anyone receiving the Connected PDF will be able to view it using an ordinary PDF reader or editor. Alternatively, by downloading a Connected PDF-enabled PDF reader, such as Foxit Reader, they'll be able to work with the document in a Connected PDF environment and take advantage of the functionality described in the prior slide. And I said that information is stored in the cloud. Metadata is stored in the cloud, but the important thing to point out here is that the confidential information in the document is not stored in the cloud as a default. It can be if the author wants it to be, but not as a default. Connected PDF has been available since last summer, June of 2016. It's available on both of our PDF editors, Phantom PDF Standard and Phantom PDF Business, version 8.0 and later. It's also available in our mobile and desktop reader solutions, and it's also available using our web forms. And with that, I'll pass control of the webinar to Phil.
Thanks, David. All right, everybody should be able to see my screen. That was really some great information from both Dave and David from a standpoint of security, addressing it from the enterprise level and the importance of documents, and then also a review of the Connected PDF technology that Foxit has introduced. What my portion today is to really address is okay, so there's vulnerabilities, there's problems. I already have an investment in the Adobe platform or Adobe Acrobat, but I am interested of reducing my risk on the documents that I maintain and send out to my partners. How do I go about doing that? So I'm really going to try to provide a level and approach of how I upgrade or migrate from the Adobe platform to the Foxit platform. So, why should I switch? I think we just gave some very powerful reasons, specifically on the risk involved with documents and getting them into the wrong hands. The Connected PDF technology that we introduced, it takes care of that directly with an added layer. So why should I switch to Foxit? Well, the time for change is now. Foxit's platform is more secure than the Adobe Acrobat platform. I'll show you some information on that. It's easier to use because we use the standard ribbon toolbar. It's got some very powerful editing tools to perform ad hoc fixes, and also provides you with the ability to repurpose content in a very powerful manner. Simply, it's a lower total cost of ownership. It's up to 1/3 or greater the cost of Adobe Acrobat, both in subscription and perpetual licensing offerings. And finally, it's been proven that we provide superior customer support and higher customer satisfaction. So looking at these high-level bullets, let's address them individually here. This was based on a list of CVEs. This is the most common source of how you track and look at vulnerabilities. So over the course of the last 10 years, you can see on the chart here, this is the vulnerabilities from the Adobe platform, both Reader and Acrobat, and this is the Foxit platform. Clearly, and it is amazing when we show this, and I think most people understand Update Tuesdays, that in many years it's 20x the amount of vulnerabilities. So not only do you have risk around your documents, there's also risk associated with your applications, and the Foxit platform really addresses both of those risks to migrate them significantly downward. As I mentioned earlier, Foxit's easier to use. Our research shows that over 80% of the most hardened Acrobat users prefer the Phantom PDF ribbon once exposed to it. It is customizable in batch or even on an individual basis and provides easy access to the most powerful tools with fewer clicks. The ribbon UI is a leading reason in flattening out the learning curve and migrating from Acrobat to the Foxit Phantom PDF platform. This is a strong statement, but if you use the products in a one-to-one comparison, you'll find out that it is true. We do provide better editing, both of text and exporting for repurposing. Phantom PDF automatically identifies text boxes and allows users to paragraph edit with seamless reflow of paragraphs like a word processor. You can add text, images, and video to your PDF document, locking it into a connected PDF and applying rights. It also has advanced editing features, which include select, insert, change, remove, rotate, copy, paste text, images, graphics, and shading. It's a very advanced feature-for-feature comparison with what would be considered the leading product on the market today. We can also easily share PDF content by exporting to Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel, RTF, HTML, XML, text, and image formats. We recommend you to try it. You'll be amazed how you can get from a PDF to 100% fidelity to its corresponding Office file format. Take some time here. As I mentioned earlier, we have a lower total cost of ownership described as better value. We've introduced this product about 7 years ago, and the reason is there needed to be a viable competitor to a product in the marketplace in which offers the same level of features, a better user experience, faster, more secure. So if you look at this, we have the products, Phantom PDF Standard, which compares to Adobe Acrobat DC Standard, and Phantom PDF Business, which compares to Adobe Acrobat DC Pro. A one-time purchase, we do offer both perpetual licensing pricing and subscription. So this row here describes the one-time purchase. As you can see, $109 compared to $299, almost a third of the cost. And then $139 compared to $449, over one-third less the cost of Adobe Acrobat DC Pro. When you look at subscription, our yearly subscription modeling again is significantly lower than the Adobe product, comparably both on standard and pro, with our standard version and business version. And again, almost half the cost on a month-by-month subscription fee. These types of pricings also are reflected in large ELAs or volume pricing. Again, financially, from a total cost of ownership, Phantom PDF provides tremendous value. not only price, not only product, not only security, but you need to provide better customer support. And our users continuously compliment our customer support team. From a sales point of view, our customer support team is the lifeblood of our organization and is one of the main reasons our customer loyalty program is so high. Our team is very knowledgeable. If you pick up the phone and call, you'll get an answer in less than 30 seconds. They'll speak your local language, both in North America as well as in Europe. And on average, if you have a problem, that resolution is provided within 12 minutes. We also, from a migration standpoint, ask, okay, I have this large investment. How do I migrate from a platform my organization has been using for a number of years, if not decades, to a new platform that we believe is more secure, offers more innovative products, and certainly reduces my risk? Well, we also have a tremendous post-sales support program. Here is a sample migration plan in which we outline installing the software, testing it into your environment, various levels of training in which we train the trainer and or provide widespread webinars to your user base. We definitely integrate and want end-user Q&A and feedback. Our support is continuous. We run an agile development program. If there is a specific workflow or something that your user group needs or wants, it's put into it, and then that is launched in either the next minor in our major release. We support videos of major workflows. Again, help and support is only a phone call or email away. We have account reviews to check the status of the migration plan, and also offer technical account managers and manager updates. So given the fact that almost every one of Foxit's 100,000 plus customers at one time were Adobe customers, we have tremendous experience and expertise in ensuring your success. I think this is a really important slide. So a little bit about G2 Crowd. It's the world's leading business software review platform. Leverages more than 100,000 user reviews to drive better purchasing decisions. Using this independent study, users rank Phantom PDF with a higher satisfaction ranking than Adobe Acrobat. This is completely independent, and we're very proud. We work very, very hard to obtain and maintain the satisfactory rating. So to summarize, Foxit Phantom PDF provides a cost-effective solution for business professionals to work securely within PDF documents and forms. It provides a full-featured platform to view, create, edit, collaborate, share, secure, organize, export, OCR, and sign PDF files. As mentioned earlier, it's available in 2 editions, Standard and Business. Business is geared towards the power users who require advanced editing capabilities and security capabilities. And the best of all, it's available with Connected PDF, which David reviewed earlier, which is a breakthrough technology that brings new levels of accountability, collaboration, and productivity in the creation, sharing, tracking of PDF documents worldwide. We support both perpetual and subscription license models. A good time for change is not only for security, but if your organization is looking to migrate from Windows 7 to Windows 10, that's often a great opportunity to look at the applications running on your standard OS. We could look at a complete rip and replace, but it doesn't require. Again, our product will not conflict with, let's say, Adobe Acrobat or Adobe Reader. So you can migrate at your pace, at your confidence level, with our support to ensure success. And then finally, we have on our webpage complete details that go over the items that I reviewed today at a high level for you to review in addition to the slides that we're providing today. So David, that is the portion of my presentation, and
Excellent.
I will flip it back to you.
Sounds good. Thanks for that, Phil. That brings us to the Q&A portion of the webinar. We have quite a bit of time left. Again, phone lines are muted, but if you type your question into the chat box at the bottom and then send it either to everyone or to staff, we'll be able to take questions and we'll respond to them now. There have been quite a few questions. Phil, for you, from your experience, is replacing Acrobat with Phantom PDF painless?
You know, that's a real good question. In some instances there is no pain, but in most instances there is some uncomfort, given the fact that the technology has been embedded in the enterprise or the organization for some time, and in fact the application might even be hard-coded, in which it's called through acro32.rxe. Again, when we get into the migration plan or the proof of concepts, we identify those types of instances, as well as there might be a specific workflow that Adobe Acrobat has addressed in the past, and the user team for several reasons may say, hey, you know, this is what we need or what we want. We have a tremendous success in replacing all those workflows, features, and needs with Phantom PDF. And as I mentioned earlier, it doesn't require a complete rip. You know, you can maintain the Adobe licenses. Most people own them from a perpetual standpoint, and then you can migrate over to a more secure and cost-effective long-term platform.
Great. Dave, there's a question here from Andy. And he says, were there any tax professionals included in the study? So I'm guessing Andy's a tax professional.
So the answer to that is yes. I can't give you a number right now, but yes, definitely there were tax professionals who responded to the survey.
Okay. Another question for you. Were any of the findings in your study a surprise? I think you'd said that you were surprised about the number of people citing sending documents accidentally as one surprise. Were there other surprises in your study?
That absolutely was a surprise to us. Just the level of incidents that have taken place among our participants where they accidentally sent out information. I think the other surprise is just the degree to which companies don't have established policies and practices that employees understand, and that, you know, solutions are not in place to help help improve security. You know, encryption is obviously an example of a tool for security, but yet most report that they don't have those kinds of tools at their
fingertips,
available to them.
Right, got it. Phil, one for you. Can everything that will work on Adobe have a corresponding have a corresponding function in Foxit?
That's a good question. To be quite transparent and honest, which we pride ourselves here at Foxit, there is not a complete one-to-one match for every feature in Adobe Acrobat compared to Phantom PDF. One good example is Phantom PDF does not have any features directed towards printing or the pre-press industry. We don't view that as our focus. We're more on the knowledge worker. But you'll see that from a feature-to-feature comparison, if you go to the web page that we show, it will give you a pretty precise view of what features that we support, as well as what features we don't support that Adobe supports. So we're very transparent on that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Does Foxit have deployment tools for the enterprise to make replacement seamless?
Yes, we do. Yeah, well, we support all the major deployment tools, and we do an excellent job at allowing IT organizations to push the replacement out and manage those replacements. We provide a single key to make that push extremely efficient.
Okay, here's one from Lindsay. Does each employee need to have an account with Foxit, Phantom PDF Business, or Standard in order to add them into a connected PDF? So I think basically the answer there is, Lindsay, is people who, the author needs to have Phantom PDF Business or Standard, but and there's a cost to that. As Phil touched on, you can purchase a license in perpetuity, or you can subscribe on a monthly or yearly basis. But I think the key thing here that you're asking is that the other recipients, if they can view a connected PDF using Foxit Reader. That functionality is also available in Foxit Reader, and as the name suggests, it's just a reader, and it's free the way readers are. And you have some functionality to sign or edit documents, but not the ability to grant the ability to edit or forward, to see who's printed and so forth, the way the author does who's using Phantom PDF.
David, if I may add to that, not only is the reader is free on the Windows platform, Mac platform, iOS, and Android. So there's really no platform if you kick off a connected PDF session that your team and or partners can engage in free of charge.
Okay, sounds good. So here's a follow-up question from Emily. Is there a personal version, like for a student yet? Do you or will you ever have a lightweight free version for just the light level use, for example, from a student?
We do. We actually offer what we call our educational version. It's at a significantly lower price than our commercial and our standard and business versions, and that's available on our website and through our store.
Sounds good. Dave, a question for you. Given the challenges your study has identified, what do you think companies should do to improve document security? I think you touched on that, but maybe it's just worthwhile as we're getting towards the end of the webinar just to recap some of your thoughts on. Well,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'd say that number one, there need to be clear policies and practices established that employees understand and are educated about and sensitized to. The fact that there are so many, accidental releases of confidential information just demonstrates that employees are not sensitized enough to the risks. And then number two, I think there need to be new solutions, new approaches to information security as it relates to documents. And I think it's interesting. Your presentation was very interesting, David, and it just strikes me that there have been these vulnerabilities growing because of the internet, because of the proliferation of mobile devices, and it's time that we make connectivity part of the solution as opposed to just part of the problem. And so I think new connected solutions that allow originators to control documents after they've been sent is, in fact, a strong part of the solution set that companies need to embrace.
Okay, thanks. Phil, question from Jim. I would like to let users modify a PDF one page at a time, specifically letting them redact sections of a page, by covering text blocks with large black boxes. Is that something Phantom PDF supports? Phil, are you on mute?
Sorry about that, David. I was. Yes.
No.
So Phantom PDF absolutely supports redaction. Most people state that it's like putting a black box on the content on a page-by-page basis, but really that black box is just an indicator that all the information, including metadata below that PDF file, has been really removed from the document. It is completely redacted, and yes, we do support that, to answer Jim's question.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, Andy, yes, we do have people in-house who have understanding of tax practices, and we'll give you a call at the number you provided. Thanks for that. Okay. So question for you, Phil. Do you offer an ELA, enterprise license agreement? I think you touched on that briefly in your presentation, but if you can answer that question.
Yeah, Foxit does contractually offer SLA or ELA agreements for enterprise deployment. Those are typically a 3-year term agreement and is offered both in perpetual and subscription licensing models.
Interesting. Can I purchase both perpetual and subscription versions of Phantom PDF?
You know, that's a question that's coming up a lot lately, and yes, we do support that, and can even talk about the fact that if you want to enter into a perpetual agreement and or a subscription agreement, and in the future migrate to one or the other, we can address those needs from a financial standpoint and put that type of options into our agreement. Mm-hmm. Interesting question.
Okay. Here's another one. Can I transfer licenses from one geography or language to another?
Somebody out there must have felt some pain in the past. Yes, it's common. Our enterprise licensing agreements are global agreements. We look at an organization at whole as in one, and we easily allow licenses to be transferred. Yeah, not a problem.
All right, got it. So Lucy has a question about upgrading some features, and we'll have one of our customer support people reach out to you on that question, Lucy. A couple of folks have asked if this webinar and if the slides will be available, and yes, they will be available. Probably by tomorrow, this webinar will be on our website. That URL again is foxitsoftware.com/company/webinar. So essentially, if you go to our website, look at the company section, which is the tab on the right, and scroll down, you'll find our webinars, and you'll be able to access this webinar probably by tomorrow. Okay, I think we're coming towards the end of the questions. Again, if you do have questions, please type them into the question, the chat area at the bottom of that dialog box on your screen. Dave, in your study, did you come across any? I mean, what's your thought on the average cost of a security breach?
So there's been a lot of work on that, and I don't have the figures in front of me, and it's sort of based on the number of records that are released. But I think document security is often different from other kind of security issues because the value of information in documents is often very, very high. For example, information about trade secrets and intellectual property, if lost to a competitor, can be an extremely harmful and expensive problem. And I think lawsuits and legal information and contract information, again, it can be a very costly problem if the wrong kind of document gets out. So I don't have figures, but I think our study does indicate that it can be exceptionally costly in terms of reputation, lawsuits, etc.
Got it. Yep. All right, great. I think that's pretty much the end of the questions. So let's wrap up the webinar. We still have over 55 people with us. I want to thank everyone for sticking around this long. It's much appreciated. Before we end, let me invite you to take Phantom PDF for a test drive and see for yourself what it's capable of. We provide a free 14-day trial. And you can download it from our website at the URL shown at the bottom of this slide. Please join us on April 20th for our next webinar. Although we're still pulling this webinar together, the working title at the moment is Ultraforms, Improving Data Collection Using 2D Barcodes. That sounds intriguing. And that brings us to the end of today's webinar. Dave, Phil, and I would like to thank you for joining us today. We know you have many choices about how to spend, how you could spend the past 50 minutes or so, and we're very happy that you chose to spend it with us, and we hope you found this webinar to be productive and helpful. We'd love to hear from you. If you haven't already sent us a question, feel free to reach out to any of the three of us if you have additional questions or feedback. And with that, I think we'll wrap up. Goodbye for now.